I have a friend whose father was a military commander in wartime. And he was leading a company of men, could have been a battalion, I don't know, but anyway, a large group of men in war. And they got caught behind enemy lines. And essentially the enemy was to the north of them. And they got caught behind the line up in the north, okay? And so they're behind enemy lines with a lot of enemies north of them. He gathers his commanders, his lieutenants, to ask them, okay, let's huddle here. What should we do?
Right.
What are their best options? And of course, what they all said was, they all came up with different options, but it was all sort of this. Anything but going north. Going north is obviously wrong.
Bad idea.
So some other way, will work. Excuse me. But this military commander was a devoted Latter-day Saint. So he took the counsel of all of his lieutenants and then went to the Lord in prayer and asked him what they should do. And you can imagine this is a case where it would be a priority for the Lord.
Right.
A devoted Latter-day Saint humbly coming to him, trying to save the lives of his men. And the Lord answered him. And the answer was to go north.
It's crazy.
How do you go north?
Your brain is... the first thing I think is, let's say this is right, Heavenly Father. How do you expect me to convince everyone else?
I mean, there's a lot of problems here, right?
Right.
Well, what this commander didn't know, but what the Lord did was this. A journalist had discovered the precarious situation this company found itself in, had published an article identifying the situation, and the enemy had read it.
Wow.
And so the enemy, imagining the obvious thing for them to do would be to go south as fast as they can, the enemy left their positions in the north and moved south.
Wow.
So that when this company moved south, they would fall into their arms, okay? Well, this military commander didn't know that, but the Lord knew it. And I would add, too, very important, the Lord didn't tell him. The Lord didn't say, well, here's why. The Lord just said, go north. Well, he went back to his military commanders and said, we're going north. Have to go north. That's the right thing to do. They went north and were able to skirt around where the enemies had moved to, and they escaped to safety. Well, for me, that's emblematic of our lives and of the church's life.